Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing an unboxing for the HGRC Kabakali. This kit was provided to me by MindFenix Hobby Store, so a big thank you once again to them for hooking me up with this kit. If you guys are living in Australia, definitely make sure you go check them out. They're going to be a great help for you guys living there. Now, Kiilstofte has put out some pretty interesting mobile suit designs and kits. And I've got to say, this one is probably my least favorite in terms of its overall looks. It's got a really unique design, like a lot of the other kits we've seen come out of the series, but this one just does not really do a whole lot for me. It has a lot of stuff going on that I just really puts me off to the kit. But again, I always like to reserve my judgment until I've actually built the kit and got it actually in my hands and able to do some poses. For me, if it's able to pull off a couple awesome poses, in the end that's all that matters. So we'll just have to see. I'll just try to reserve my judgment until then, but I'm really more interested in this awesome giant mobile armor that we've got in the background. I haven't gotten to the point in the series where I've seen that in the anime, but I think if I can tell just from what we can see here, that I know which one that is just from seeing like some artwork for it. Anyway, that would be really cool to get that in some sort of kit form, I think, but we'll just have to see. A lot of really interesting designs in the series that would be nice to have kits of, but I don't know if we're going to be getting too many more kits. After this, we've got the G-Cell Perfect Pack, and that might be one of the last HGs that we get from the series. We'll just have to see. Anyway, it is some pretty nice looking box art here on the front. It does definitely make the mobile suit look pretty cool here on the front. The kit itself, though, is where I have some of my doubts, so we'll just have to see about that. Around on the side, we've just got our standard kind of standard HG box art, where it's just the box art cropped here to fit onto the side, and this is number 16 in the series, so that would make the Perfect Pack 17, and that might be it, just 17 HGs from the series, but it's not too bad. Here on the bottom we've got a front and rear view of the mobile suit. It's going to be in black, mostly black. Of course we do have a few other accent colors, namely red, but mostly black here. It's got its weapon, which I believe is a shotgun, a sort of beam shotgun, if I remember correctly. Yes, that's right. That's correct. I can see over here it says that. But not really a big fan of shotguns either, but we'll just have to see. Then, of course, its main gimmick is going to be these sort of like beam saw discs that are stored in these containers on the backpack, and then they are able to come out and use these wires connected to the hands. So they're not actually wire guided, as you can see here on the cover. They're supposed to be sort of like this, like beam guided, but we're just gonna have some wires. I guess are probably gonna be red wires for that. We'll have to see when we open up the box. And then just a little bit more about the gimmicks. It's got these kind of like shields on its knees. Here we can see here, but those are able to be removed. I think once they're removed, I don't think there's really anything else that you can do with them. You can just choose whether to have them on or have them off. We'll have to see which one I like better. And it looks like you can store the extra ammo for the shotgun. You can store on the side skirts, which is pretty cool. Extra ammo storage on the mobile suit is always kind of interesting. And then we do have these small little stands for those beam discs. What are they called? They're called a beam, or sorry, beam ring is what that is. Very unimaginative and boring name there, beam ring. Okay, and then here we've got the artwork. This artwork, looking at this now, actually looks pretty much better than the actual kit. So I don't know, maybe just the pictures that they've got of the kit just make it look not all that interesting. The artwork looks cool, so we'll see if it looks more like that. It'll be cool. And then here's a bit about Mask, the pilot, of course, and about the story. Here we can see it's fighting the G-Self, and here it's with the Dahak and the Gastima, and then just doing some other stuff there. It looks like these big binders that it's got are some sort of huge weapon. I don't know. I'll have to look this up, and I'll talk more about that in the review. Right now, I don't really know too much about it, sadly. Sorry about that, guys. The list price is 2,000 yen. Let's open it up and see what we've got inside. Our first bag. Bag one, you can see we've got our polycaps. There is the standard HG polycap sheet, looks like PC002, and a couple other runners there. Bag 2, there's our red wires and some other red parts there, and a light gray. Bag 3 is all of our kind of very dark black colors, and some foil stickers, only a couple, that looks pretty good. Bag 4 is a couple of smaller runners, gray and red, and then bag 5 has our clear parts, and then these are kind of transparent white parts, so kind of interesting. I wonder where those go on the kit. And then of course our manual, so let's go ahead and take a closer look at this now. Here we can see the box art coming back again, looking still pretty cool. They did a pretty good job on box art, making the kit look pretty cool, interesting looking there. And then just the name around on the back, pretty boring looking back here. Just one action pose, and it's actually kind of cut off, I guess, because this is fold out there. That's how it's fully supposed to be, but we'll look at this side first. Just a big picture of the painted mobile suit there, our painted kit, front and back, a little bit about the world, a little bit about mask, once again there. On the other side of that, here we've got a CG image there. It looks like, yeah, inside those binders on the shoulder, it looks like it's got some sort of energy weapon or shield or something that's coming out of those. I'll have to check that out. And then again here is about the Dahak, which I haven't built, but looks kind of interesting, and the Gossamer, which I did build and really loved that kit, so that one definitely comes highly recommended. Here we've got some line art for it, which is kind of interesting. We don't really often have line art coming in there, but if you wanted to scan that and then blow it up so that you could actually see a little bit better, you could use that to make some custom color designs on your computer before you want to paint it. Anyway, then here's our color guide for that. Then around over here, we've got our parts list, and it looks like it's not going to be anything, too many things X'd out. It looks like on the C runner, we've got one part X'd out, which is kind of strange. We'll have to check that out. And on C2, maybe because it's just copied, we only need one of them. So that's that. And then on the polycaps, we've got 2 polycaps that we're not going to be using, but otherwise that's it. Everything else we're going to be using. Of course, this is a very unique kit, so nothing's going to be recycled from other kits or anything like that. Going through with the construction, we're going to start off with the head, which is a little bit abnormal. Usually we start off with the torso, but the torso is second in this case. So head first, then the body unit. The head is, as usual, very unique, so it's kind of interesting anyway. Then the waist. So I like the order of this, how that's going. Then we're moving on to the left arm there, and building the binder along with that at the same time. Then onto the right arm and all of that. Then the left leg, and then back around here for the right leg. Then putting that all together, and then on our color pages, we're going to talk about the weapons here. So there's that shotgun. It looks like basically 3 pieces, and then the ammo pack. And you just put the hand around that, and then the beam ring should also be pretty simple there, and putting that on the backpack, the weapons there, and then how to use the stand and effect parts for that. And then here's the shield. Again, shields on the knees. It's pretty interesting. It's unique, I'll give it that. So, but it looks like if you don't want to put those on the knees, there's no other place to put those, like on the arms or anything like that. So that's pretty much it. Let's go ahead and now take a look at the runners. Right, so the first thing we've got is our foil stickers, and it looks like we've got just the one for the eyes, and then these 2 other smaller kind of grayish silver ones that I think are also going on the head, and then these 2 red sort of X designs that are going around somewhere. I believe those are also going on the sides of the head as well, the kind of like fin that goes on the top of the head. So it looks like all these stickers are just going on the head, and not really too many of them, but still there's those. Then we have our polycaps, PC002, and as we saw, there's only going to be 2 of these polycaps that we're not going to be using, so we're going to be using most of these. Then we have our wires. We have 2 of these red wires, which the wires that came with the Gastima I thought were pretty nice, really good quality wires that we had for that. So these, if they're the same, which I'm assuming they probably are, then these should work really well. Of course, they're not clear as they should technically be, because they're not actually wires, they're just sort of beam wires sort of in this actual series. But of course we couldn't really have the kind of flexibility what we need from clear wires. So anyway, there's those. Runner A is basically a lot of black armor pieces here. We can see the parts for the sides of the legs, some parts for the waist, torso, all of that. Here's the parts for the head on the side here, the neck, head, and the face there, and a couple other parts on that side as well. Nothing special in terms of the marking for the runner. It's just HG 1/44 scale Kabakali. So that's runner A. For runner B, it's in that same black color, and we do have two of these. And they're exactly the same. So you can see here's just some more of the outer armor parts. There's those parts for the shields that go on the knee, the binders, and then here's the base for the beam ring. So you can see that's just all one part there that we're going to be using for that. Then we have runner C1 is going to be in this kind of lightish gray. It's got a little bit of a purple tint to it, but it's basically just kind of a light gray color. It's going to be for our hands there and a lot of our joint parts. So we do have also a C2 as well, which is going to be a copy of this half of that runner. The hands, once again, I really don't understand why they can't figure out how to make some good looking open hands for the Reconquista and G kits. All of these enemy mobile suit open hands just are so boring and just not interesting at all, especially for kits that have hand-based weapons like the Dahak with its shield and this one with these kind of beam discs that it uses with the hands. You want the hands to look a little bit more interesting, but for some reason they just can't seem to do that. I don't really understand why, but that's just my personal take on that. Then we have runner D1, which is just some of our red parts. There's the part for the inside the binders and our feet, the beam rings, and a couple of the red little detail parts on there. Then we also have a D2, which is copied of this section of the D1 runner. So we've got some of our red parts here. Then for runner E1, it's going to be our clear effect parts for the beam discs. This is basically kind of the same kind of material that we see normally for beam saber effect parts, so it's a little bit soft, should be pretty good. It's not that kind of brittle, clear plastic that we might sometimes get for a clear runner. So anyway, here's our runner E1, just 6 of those, and then we have runner E2 as well. This is in this translucent white color. If you guys don't know, I've mentioned in videos in the past, I hate this color, but it looks like these are going to be pretty minimal in terms of their use on the mobile suit, so not really very noticeable. I think these go on the shoulders. I'm guessing these are going on the shoulders as well, so we're probably only going to see just a little bit of the trim of this part. That's basically it. And then here's one part for the head as well, so kind of interesting. We're using that kind of translucent white clear part inside the head, and these two, I'm not sure where those are going, but somewhere else on the kit, possibly the vents in the front chest, kind of, I don't know. Anyway, don't like this color, but I don't think we're going to actually see it all that much, so that's good. And lastly is runner F, and these are going to be our ammo clips, our weapon, and our kind of weapons for the backpack, the parts that are going to store the beam rings inside there. The shotgun, it doesn't look too bad, but I'm sure, as we can see here, I don't think that this had a trigger finger. I'll have to look again, but if it doesn't have a trigger finger, that's going to be a really boring handle with just the hand on this part and no finger actually in that huge hole for the trigger finger. So, I don't know, we'll have to see about that. It looks, I don't know. Anyway, the color is just a kind of light gray, but it's definitely different from the light gray that we had on the previous runner. It's a little bit darker, and it has a little bit of a slightly brown tint to it, kind of. It's kind of hard to explain, but it's definitely a pretty unique kind of gray color, not one that I think I've really seen all that much of. So that is it for unboxing the HG Kabakali. Interesting, despite my clear feelings about the design of the mobile suit and some of the aspects of the Reconquista and G series HG kits. Despite all of that, I'm still very much looking forward to building this. I always enjoy just trying something out, at least, so I'm looking forward to giving this a go, and then I'll let you guys know what I think in the review, if I still am not a fan, or if I've come around to it. I think there's definitely a good chance that I'll come around to the design and I'll end up liking the kit, but we'll just have to see. Anyway, if you guys have any questions, comments, let me know in the comments section below. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in the review. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.